In our last update, we had shorted this top and wanted to see a drop towards our two support levels, which were $81,000 and $77,000. And personally, I was interested in longing both of these levels if I saw good reactions because I had targets much higher towards this double top at $88,000, which actually got reached today morning. So as you can see, unfortunately, we didn't get the drop first towards our support level, but price decided to put in a double bottom and reverse higher towards again our target at this double top. So as usual, before we dive into today's price action and what you can expect next, what I want to do is recap what I did. So honestly, I didn't do a whole lot because if you remember, I had opened a short position from the top and implemented the take profit one at $84,500. So at this point, I just wanted to remain patient and wait for a break below $83,000 towards again our first support level at $81,000. But again, as you probably know, price just decided to move up higher from there, and personally I was actually able to catch a long position during the weekend, which was a very easy one in my opinion. If you look at this move, we had just one imbalance, so mark it out. Price dropped into it with a lot of imbalances, so to me again it was a very easy long position, not only because we had a lot of imbalances and we filled the only imbalance that was to be seen, but also because I was in a short position from much higher as I just showed you. So again, personally I opened this long and was still in my short, but in the end, of course, I got stopped out of my short. And on Monday, I shared another potential short position, which was about $87,700. So as you can see, I wanted to see one more high and then a reversal lower. So then we go forward in time. At first, we had front on my level, which is why I wanted to see one more high, but then just a couple of minutes later, we tapped my level, got a rejection, and personally, honestly, I missed that short position just because I want to see a bit higher, but still, if anyone did take the short against this level, well, it did offer a very nice job, so of course you can already implement the take profit one, but personally, I did believe that this was a potential top, so I waited for retracement, the fill of this imbalance. I took the short, which turned into a small loss. And at this point, I was already done for the day because I just wanted to remain long and chill and I didn't want to start chasing short positions. And then in the end, well, price continued higher, reached our double top at $88,000, and personally, I remain in my long position. So back to the charts, with all of that said, what can you expect next? And I do believe that today we have a very important daily candle. Why? Because if you go on the daily chart, well, we have a daily imbalance right there. So in my opinion, this means two things. Either this is a breakout candle which will get us to much higher prices, or this is simply a trap, in which case if we get a weak daily close, well, I will expect a fill of this candle down to $85,000. And that's why, again, at least in my view, this daily candle today is a very important one. So what resistance levels do we have? Well, actually, if you remember, back on this move, I was interested in one resistance, which did get front shown and I missed the short position, which started at $89,000 pretty much. And I had an area which started from the midpoint of that wick to the open of this candle. So right now, I would actually take the same area, and that would be the resistance that I would be interested in today. And with that said, if price is indeed able to move up into this area, so maybe does something like this, and then you see a rejection and a close back somewhere around the daily open, then again, as I said, it will probably mean that you will get the fill of the daily imbalance down to $85,000. So today, that's the only resistance I'm interested in. It comes in between $89,000 and $90,000 pretty much. Of course, we also have the psychological level, which makes this area even stronger. And of course, if price is able to move above this area, then probably it means that we will break back above this high at $95,000. And that's why, again, as I said, this daily candle will be extremely important. Break and hold above this area, I would expect much higher prices. But then if you get rejection, I would expect a fill of the daily imbalance down to $85,000. So with that said, if this scenario does happen, what support levels do we have to the downside? Well, of course, much lower. These two levels, $81,000 and $77,000, are still very important. But now we do have an additional level, which would be on the hourly chart, which would be this partially filled hourly imbalance at $84,600. So the first potential scenario for a rejection and then a long position would of course be this. So let's say we move up into it, get the rejection, a drop, then this could offer a first long position if you see the right reactions, of course. But then if you drop lower, $81,000 does seem like a very interesting level now, which could offer a much bigger long position. And these would be to the downside, the two support levels that personally I would look at. The first one would be 84,600 and the second one $81,100. And of course, if we lose this one, expect to move towards $77,000, which will be a massive level because if you lose it, well, I would expect to drop towards $68,000. So with all of that said, that was mainly it for this update. A quick recap, we have a pretty interesting resistance area above us. If we break above it, let's go on the 4-hour. If we break above it, personally, I would expect to move towards $95,000 and even higher, honestly. But if you get the rejection, then this could offer a nice short position or a drop lower, the fill of the daily imbalance, and my first target would be $84,600. And of course, if you continue lower, I would love to see a move towards $81,000. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.